This is Charles Johnson, National Editor of Farm Journal and Top Producer Magazine. So I'm in Memphis, Tennessee today, talking with Andrew Duff, who is the Delta Pine Marketing Manager for Monsanto here. Andrew, I understand that Monsanto is doing things a little differently in cotton now that the acreage has declined quite a bit in the last couple of years. Could you explain the company's approach to cotton now?
Sure, Charles. As you look at what's occurred in the past 2 to 3 years and how the grain markets have increased and caused a lot of acres to shift from cotton into corn and soybeans, particularly in the Mid-South, that leaves us with a higher concentration of the cotton acres in Texas and in the Southeast. And so as a cottonseed business, we look at, how can we manage our resources to be the most effective on those acres that we're left with. And so, some of the things we're doing now with over 50% of the cotton acres being in Texas, we're increasing some investments in the Lubbock, Texas area to create a mega site where we're going to be able to combine new breeding capabilities with new biotechnology capabilities, and that's really the beauty of bringing together Monsanto technology and the Delta Pine legacy of genetics and germplasm capabilities. So, again, to be a viable seed company, we have to be able to react to the market. And in today's environment, where acres have shifted out of the Mid-South, we're looking at investing more in Texas. We still remain committed to the cotton acres in the Mid-South and Southeast with our efforts that we continue at our Scott, Mississippi location, and we'll always have innovation that applies in those geographies as well.
How about Monsanto's commitment to corn and soybeans in the Mid-South with those increasing acres here?
It's a new opportunity for us. We enjoy a unique position in the ag industry in that we have a cotton, corn, and soybean business with Asgrow, DeKalb, and Delta Pine cottonseed. And so with the opportunity farmers see in the grain markets, we're fortunate to have a business that we can offer them a solution. If they decide to plant corn or soybeans or even cotton, we've got a product that fits their needs. We have some new technology coming in corn with DeKalb and a new technology called Genuity VT Triple Pro that contains 2 new BT proteins that will provide control over corn earworm and fall armyworm. And that's some key pests that the southern grower has not been able to control in the past. And so we're real excited to see the yield potential we have with these new genetics and these traits that the southern farmer is really going to benefit.
Now, Delta Pine has some new varieties out in 2009. I understand 5 new varieties that have high yield potential. But you're going to come out with some more varieties in 2010 that potentially have even higher yield potential than the '09 ones. Could you talk a little bit about those genetics and how you're bringing those new varieties to market?
Yeah, absolutely, Charles. The germplasm pipeline, the genetic pipeline that we have in cotton is so deep right now that we're really excited over the next couple of years that there's going to be a wave of innovation that's going to hit the cotton industry, and we're excited about the incremental yield opportunity we see out of these new genetics. We've introduced a new way of bringing these products to the market because we realize that change for a grower is sometimes uneasy, and so we have so much coming so fast in cotton that we've got to step back as early in the process of bringing these to the market and ask for the grower to be a partner with us and to look and evaluate these new products. So we created a program called our New Product Exposure Plots, where farmers are conducting on-farm large plot testing, running these new experimental varieties through commercial gens, and looking at them a year before we make them commercially available, so that we have their input and make the right decisions that directly impact the farmer. And so last year we looked at about 10 experimental varieties. We actually introduced or commercialized 5 of those varieties where we saw significant yield improvements over the current commercial standards, somewhere in the range of 8 to 10% yield increases. And then when we look at the limited data we have on the class of 10 products, they show even more of an improvement in yield. We're seeing yield gains that are unlike anything we've seen since the introduction of 555. And so to bring that type of a yield improvement over 555 and over the other products that are out there today really can change the economics on the farm.
And so the feedback you get from these 145 growers out there who are growing these new varieties on their large test plots for you, what they tell you has a direct impact on the company as far as what new varieties will be released?
Absolutely. The best way to get information from your customers is to ask them, what are you looking for, and put it in their hands and let them tell you their own experiences. It's valuable to Monsanto because they're able to put it in their operations and evaluate it, just as though they do every other product that's on their farm, every other cottonseed. And so it's very valuable to us, but the grower benefits as well because they're able to provide that input. As a company, Monsanto is investing cotton growers' money in R&D in cotton. And so we want to make sure that they've got a chance to give the input that directly will benefit them. And so, it's really more of a partnership. And we want farmers to learn from other farmers and plan it, talk to one another, and instead of listening to our research and our data, let's put it out there on the farm and see what they'll do.
How high do you see these cotton yields going over the next couple of decades?
That's a great question, and if I had the answer, I sure would share it with you. But the products that I look at from a marketing standpoint are over the next 2 and 3 years. Some of the really exciting stuff they probably won't let me get a glimpse of quite yet because they know we'll start talking about it. But the potential is there. We realize that the cotton industry is going through a significant change at the moment, and Delta Pine Cottonseed is committed to the cotton industry, and we're excited about these new genetics that that are going to bring those yield increases that could potentially impact the number of cotton acres grown in the U.S. and possibly bring more acres back into production. So, what the ultimate yield increase will be, as a company, we're striving to double the yield national average in cotton by the year 2030, as we are in corn and soybeans as well. We feel like those are definitely achievable goals, and we wouldn't have set them and committed to them if we didn't think they were achievable.
Okay, well, thank you, Andrew. It's been good talking to you today. This is Charles Johnson for Farm Journal and Top Producer Magazines, reporting from Memphis, Tennessee.